And welcome back, everyone, to Resurrection series. Today's Resurrection comes to us from Okaha, who asked the question, "Why is King Bradley, aka the homunculus sin of rats, Resurrection, if he were a hollow in Bleach?" Was actually never a big Full Metal Alchemist fan, if I'm going to be honest. But that said, I do know enough about Full Metal Alchemist to give you my take on this. King Bradley is one of those guys where you just do not want to F with this man. Do not want to cross his path. Do not want to raise his ire. Anything like that. He is a master swordsman, physically enhanced and capable, once he takes his eye patch off, of seeing every minute detail of you, detecting your weak points, predicting your moves, enhanced perception of all kinds. So as a hollow, I could see him being humanoid. I don't see there's anything wrong with him still being humanoid. Although, I think if I were to base it off of any animal, really, I mean, we already have a lion in, which one is it? Not Apache, not Mila Rose. We already have a lion in Mila Rose. We already have a, it's actually a good question. Is Grimjow a jaguar or is he a leopard? I want to say he's actually a jaguar, not a leopard. But he's a big cat nonetheless. But I like the idea that his original form maybe was either a Vasto Lourdes to whatever degree, who basically was able to draw out like cat blade spine. Maybe he had like spines in his back, but he would be a sword master nonetheless. Or something that would use, if you can naturally envision an animal using a sword, something that would use a sword more naturally. Actually, here's a good kind of parallel. He was kind of a Puss in Boots sort. I could see that. One of his eyes was, and back in the day, he had his full power. So he was kind of a humanoid cat who could just like make swords and was insanely powerful. As a Ronkar, his hollow mask could be the eye patch. Guaranteed 1,000% his hollow mask is the eye patch. Not like Neotora, who wears an eye patch to cover his hollow hole, which is also, his mask is over that as well. Or like Stark, who technically has an eye patch over his eye, but it's not an eye patch. It's kind of weird to say what that is. No, his eye patch is the mask because it works out perfectly. Once he takes the mask off, he activates his Ouroboros eye, his ultimate eye, if you will. Which again grants him things like enhanced eyesight, extrasensory perception, able to perceive and process information at instantaneous speeds, coupled with extreme physicality. He's adept at could adapt perfectly to all factors, achieving maximum efficiency in offense and defense. A simple glance, essentially, he had more or less a type of precognition. It was more or less the ability to predict and see a pattern so flawlessly. It more or less was able to give him accurate predictions of the future. It was limited things within his field of vision, though. So when his release, Burn, not now. I wanted to go Anger or Wrath, but Ira is actually Wrath, which is Yami's Zanpakuto. So instead, I went with I believe it was Anger. I believe Anger is Furia. Burn Furia, and then the eye patch gets released. He gains maybe a couple more cat-like traits. Maybe his fantastic mustache. Maybe it turns a little bit more like merges into like a mane or something. But more to the point, he gains access to his eye. Now, to be fair, you could also make the argument maybe he was more of a draconic type hollow because of the Ouroboros type of draconic serpentine design on his eye. I'm willing to accept that answer as well, to be honest. And honestly, you could even make the argument that Ouroboros could be the name of his Resurrection. I prefer to go with something that actually leads itself towards the actual sin he represents. So that would personally be my take. But yeah, in that form, he would basically be able to just continually draw swords again. And more than anything, he would gain essentially the Bleach equivalent of all of his abilities. He'd gain a level of precognition, probably just straight out. Nothing on the level of the Almighty, which is not even precognition. It's flat out future sight and causality manipulation. Again, the Almighty is one of those broken abilities in the anime. Just straight out ability. We're not talking about the sheer level of power someone has. We're talking about an ability. That's the there's difference between there. I would say it's at minimum in like the top 10, maybe at least top 20, maybe top 10. I mean, don't get me wrong. You still have people who also like can manipulate fiction, like story narrative, all of that. You still have those kinds of individuals as well. But still, the Almighty for a shonen series is one of the most busted abilities you can make. Even Dragon Ball does not have an ability, not a character of power, an ability as broken as the Almighty. And they've got existence erasure, which, quite frankly, is nothing. If it means nothing if you're literally stopping the future where your existence gets erased. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, that'd be King Bradley, aka the Sin of Rats, Resurrection. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I've got to do the what if today. I've also got to do a special birthday one today, which I still got to do the notes for. And then I'll probably be pre-recording my videos for tomorrow as well. Although I'll have all tomorrow to do them. I'd rather pre-record them because I'd rather get ahead of certain things. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.